what happens when you take a probiotic? So probiotics are the big rage. And so one of the big rages in nutrition. So when you take one, it helps your gut. It feeds the good bacteria. But what happens when you take them? So this is just a representation of the gut, the stomach, the small intestine, and down here, right here, is the large intestine. So this is not an actually how it is. Actually how it is stomach, pylorus, the small intestine, goes squiggle around the gut, meets down lower right side of the ileocecal valve, up across, large intestines, up across, down and out. So that's what it actually looks like. Just saying it's not what it looks like, because you know, all the time I do these videos, somebody said, well, you didn't draw it quite right. Yeah, that's right. This is just a kind of an example to make it easy. So you take the probiotic and you get it down the stomach. There is really no good bacteria sitting in the stomach. There might be a few, but it's not the main place for the stomach. When we looked at small intestine, duodenum, jejunum, ileum, it's divided into 3 parts. The upper parts, there's just not much housing of that good bacteria. How many good bacteria? Should be 100 trillion good bacteria in the gut, which is an astounding number. So when you get into the ileum, suddenly there's none, but then it gets really populated, just like the large intestine, the colon, with good bacteria. So this is the area we're affecting when we take the probiotic. But we have to take a prebiotic right there with it, because the prebiotic causes the probiotic to reproduce on itself. The probiotic's good for a day, but when we get the prebiotics, and you can get a lot of those in foods, a lot of vegetables have them, you know, sauerkraut, stuff like that too, you can get that reproduction of that good bacteria. So 100 trillion, hundreds of species, and the gut, of course, is 80% of our immune system. So what we do on a patient, if they have any digestive issues, we get a probiotic with a prebiotic. First we work up here. We start up top and go down, but we get a probiotic with a prebiotic, and that will cause that probiotic, all that good bacteria, to do it. And we use a few different things to do it, depending on what the symptoms are and depending on things. We use one with 4 phages, which are the prebiotic, and they actually eat bad bacteria, so there's more room for the good bacteria. So now, once we do that, we're going to go to lactic acid yeast, because that's like the fertile ground in your garden. So it makes a fertile ground in our intestine. So it starts making that gut reproduce all that good bacteria, and more we reproduce good, we're going to go out with the bad, right? So that's how it works. When you take a prebiotic, you get down here, but you need that. When you take a probiotic, you're really feeding this here, but we need that prebiotic to cause it to reproduce. And then after that does that and the gut's good, there's a maintenance. Lactic acid yeast, by the way, acidifies the lower colon, should be about 5.5, I think it is. And so should be a little acidic, and it reduces the chance of disease in the lower colon if it is kept acidic, is what I've read in the studies out there. So that's how that works when you take prebiotic. So if you're taking prebiotic, you got to add a probiotic to it, get that thing nurturing itself and reproducing itself, and you're going to have a much healthier gut.